Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen, Guile here, and welcome back to another Supreme Commander Epic. That's right, you've all been incredibly well behaved. I'm very impressed with the behavior, so I thought it was time, like my children get sweets on a Friday, you guys get a Supreme Commander Epic about 4 times a year. I think that's fair, don't you? I think that's fair. So here we are. It's going to be a less long, this is some good English coming here, less long cast than usual for an epic, one for the epic series. I hope you will agree, though, it's of sufficient epic magnitude to deserve the status. There you go. So not quite as long as the usual ones, but lots and lots of stuff happening. Having said that, slightly less stuff on the screen today compared to Cast 352, the FAF series, which went out last week. Where it was just a little bit crazy. The 8v8 missed one or two things. Let's face it, I can miss one or two things in a 1v1, but it was always going to happen in an 8v8. We're scaling it back slightly today. It's going to be a custom 6v6, but incorporating many of the same usual suspects from the previous cast, so it's almost like a rematch, although I'm not quite sure on the teams. It's excited. I'm excited. If you're not excited, then get excited, because it's time to go over to the game zone and see how these guys are going to get on. Ching, ka-ching. There we go. It's Canis, baby. It's Canis with lots and lots of players, albeit at least 6 a team. We're calling this Team 1 up here at the top, and this Team 2 down here at the bottom. And the best part is that the UI agrees with me. You can see Team 1 up here. This is Team 1. So a little less confusing than last time when I decided to shake things up. Let's take a look at our players. Team 1, first of all, up here at the top. It's not really rearguard air position. It is just a rear position, really. That's where we're at. It's Blue Owl. He's going Cybran, bless him, opening first land. Next up to him, it's Icy Nightmare going UEF in Volvo Beige, going first land. Team member number 3 in the second, in the sort of center. I guess if there was an air position, this would probably be it. It's F Odin, because Thor is clearly superior. Here he is, and he's going Cybran, opening first land in Pontiff White. Team member number 4 down here. It's the one and only Farm Schlet. He's changed his name layout, but it essentially says the same thing, so thank you for that, sir. I actually quite liked it when he was Dave, but no, it's all good. It's all good. We can work with this. I know who this is. This is an improvement from what was going on before. He's going UEF, as we said, in Burgundy Red, going first land. Team member number 5 over here. It's Pappy Noob, our first Aeon of the game, in Combat Green. He's going first land, second air. And last but not least, for Team 1 over here on the plateau, all by his lonesome, it's Bulletproof Bob, another Cybran, going first land in Lime Green. Let's take a look at what's going on down here for Team 2. Lurid Green, first of all. It's Obi-Wan Kenobi. That's right, Sealfield bow out early in the franchise once again. He's going Aeon, going first and second land. And we'll move over to team member number 2 for Team 2. It's Bully Dozer in Elephantine Grey, going UEF, opening first land. Team member number 3 in Spetsnaz Green, another UEF. It's Hush Noob going first land, second air. Team member number 4, already on the move to the middle. It's Wounded Elk Noob in Breast Cancer Awareness Pink, going UEF, and he opened first land. Team member number 5, he's disappeared too. Where is he going? He's come through the aperture. It's Eco Noob going Seraphim in Ferrari Red, and he opened first land. And by his lonesome on the plateau in the bottom left-hand corner, it's Raider Noob. And I don't know why I said that in an American accent. I don't know what happened there. Going UEF in Cyanide Scion, opening first land. Gain quality at a whopping 87%, way off. But, who cares anyway. It's 1533 average versus 1600, which was kind of the same game balance registered as it was in the last game, and yet there was hardly anything between the two teams. Still not sure how that works out. But what have we got here? So we've got like 3 Cybran up the top, 2 UEF, and an Aeon. That sounds about right for Team 1. And then we've got 4 UEF, a Seraphim, and an Aeon there for Team 2. First casualty of the game looked like a scout for Wounded Elk. Got blapped by Icy Nightmare, who's come across the causeway there with his ACU, followed in tow by F Odin. rolling out to grab some territory. Their central player for Team 2 has gone right of the causeway instead, coming over to assist Obi-Wan Kenobi as he Obi-Wan Kenobi as I should be referring to him in a less X-rated manner. Bulldozer has come across the causeway with his comp, throwing down a row of land factories. Wounded Elk to the left of it, and Eco Noob moving to what is actually another starting location here, but of course that would only be for a 7v7. It's interesting, this is an adaptive, so they've kept that starting location. You would have thought they could have done away with that for the 6v6. The guide to capitalize on that starting location for Team 1 is Pappy Noob. So both Eco Noob and Pappy Noob, the two corner players of the base sections, rolling out to grab that. Pappy Noob is a 1400 though. Eco Noob is a 2000 rated player, so it's a lot more mass going into the top rated player on Team 2. Farm Schled is the high ranking player for Team 1, also on 2000. But not that that means anything. Anything can happen, especially in these 6v6s. Bulldozer engaging Farms on his doorstep. Farm Schled slightly behind in the exchange because of the reclaims, but it's so early on it really won't cause too many problems. Hush Noob coming up the causeway as well to assist Bulldozer in that confrontation. Hush Noob also targeting some of the units at the back belonging to Farm Schled. F. Odin quick to shoot those down, or shoot that bomber down. Obi-Wan Kenobi engaging Bulletproof Bob. I was about to say mano a mano, but it really isn't. Bulletproof Bob with a ton of T1 support. Obi-Wan Kenobi with absolutely no support of any kind and is currently getting blocked by some of these Mantis that are trying to obstruct his getaway here. Below 40%, this would be a devastating loss to Team 2 to lose a player this early on. Down below 2,000, he's got to try and get in around the edge of this mountain here, but the Mantis aren't going to let him escape. I think we're going to see our first ejection at under 6 minutes, potentially. Obi-Wan Kenobi bows out before the denouement even of the first installment of the trilogy. Who saw that coming? Well, it happened in the previous cast as well, so kind of me. And everything else. That was a cataclysmic error in judgment there. Bulletproof Bob will be happy with that. Is he going to expand into the breach? If he can set up shop here, that could cause no end of problems there for Bulldozer. He and Hush Noob still contending with Farms, who has had a good exchange with Hush Noob, considering he was slightly down on HB comparisons after the exchanges with Bulldozer, who's also taken a battering. So while all that was going on up here, Farm Schled's been holding the line pretty damn well against these two UEF ACUs and still holding on to the territory as well. Things going well inside the first 10 minutes now for Team 1. What's happening over on the western edge of the map? T2 upgrade on the way there for Raider Noob. Under pressure from Icy Nightmare and Blue Owl. Blue Owl also getting the T2 upgrade there on his comm. Slightly behind, but it won't make a great deal of difference. And F. Odin pretty far forward with his commander as well. Just on the other side of the river there. Some of those Mantis that I think were involved in the dispatching of Obi-Wan Kenobi headed south and started to engage this forward outpost belonging to Hush Noob, and Bulldozer from the rear has had to back up a little bit. So it's now a slightly precarious situation for Bulldozer. He's got a large amount of real estate to try and lock down, and he's also contending with a emboldened Farm Schlet, but Wounded Elk has pulled his comm very far forward indeed, north of the river, and is deciding enough is enough, Farm Schlet. That's far too much territory. Getting above yourself. Raider Noob completes his T2 upgrade, throws down a triad. It's going to help keep some of these forces at bay. Belonging to Icy Nightmare and Blue Owl. Happy Noob, 75% done almost on an upgrade to T2. Wounded Elk getting double teamed in the center, was looking very healthy just a moment ago, but has had to dip under the water, avoid some of that incoming Lobo fire. Farm Schlet and F. Odin putting the smack down on Wounded Elk there, forcing him back. Bulldozer with a little bit of breathing room he got from Wounded Elk's pressure has shifted right to try and force Bulletproof Bob back a little bit. Hush Noob coming in as well, but they need to be very careful here. T2 emplacements online, couple of Cerberus turrets, lots and lots of Mantis in the area. Could Bulldozer have bitten off more than he could chew? Well, he's about to stray out of range of that forward PD. I think he's doing okay. Doesn't want to get sandwiched though. More forces coming in from Farm Schlet and Pappy Noob. Team 1 sensing the chance to dismantle this forward position potentially, or at the other end of that, possibly get an ACU kill here. Bulldozer tucks himself in behind Hush Noob. Not enough T1 support to complete the kill. In comes a Spectre though. Pappy Noob up to T2 air. Locking onto Bulldozer's comm, and in come a Mercy or two. Takes him down to 2,300. But what do we got here? F. Odin decapitated by Eco Noob right in the center. How very, very unfortunate. Things were looking very good for Team 1. Unnecessary death there. Obi-Wan Kenobi asking, how did F. Odin die? Eco Noob responds with retardism. Well, it was never one for foresight, that one. Just think, if only he had turned up to a few sports days of Loki's or given him a pat on the back every once in a while, so much needless violence could have been avoided. Now Icy Nightmare advancing. There's some good gap sealing that's been going on over here though from Team 2. I like what I've seen. Lots of spam being sent around onto the upper tier of terrain up here, trying to curtail Bob's expansion. Meanwhile, ACU's locked down the causeway. Bulldozer still looking peaky though, as is Wounded Elk, taking some Oblivion turret fire from Pappy Noob. He's got a bit of a creep going on here. 2 turrets online, a third on the way. Each one placed just that little bit further forward than the one before it. Farm Schlet backing up with his comm. He's going to throw down a naval yard. Always like to see a bit of navy in this central river on Canis, especially if it's UEF or Seraphim. I always think that's a great move. Gives you enormous flexibility, or even potentially Cybran with the naughty, sprouty, walkie destroyers. Elk heading for shield coverage of Eco Noob's forward position. That's got 3 T2 PDs online under there. Likely as not, Farms and Icy Nightmare not going to be able to dismantle this base at this time. Eco Noob looking reasonably comfortable. Wounded Elk going to combat this creep with some mobile missile launchers. Quite a few flapjacks in there. We do have a Volcano online. Is that enough, though, to keep that forward Oblivion turret online? Eco Noob taking fire now. He's got a gun upgrade and the T2 engineering suite on board that comm. Now got shield coverage as well. Wants to keep an eye on it though. Doesn't want to throw this one away. His team are going to be counting on him to carry this. Large numbers of Volthus down here, belonging to Eco Noob. T2 gunships ready to pounce should they see a vulnerable comm. Do have some flak, mobile flak in that mix, so those comms relatively safe for the time being. A very static conflict here. Point defense versus mobile missiles. Launchers, mobile missile launchers. A pretty static defense all over, actually. Not a great deal of movement in any respect. Front line, more or less 50% of the map apiece. Bulletproof Bob just edging down that eastern tier, upper tier on the edge of the map there, causing a few issues for Hush Noob, and just dropping a whole load of Medusas on the cliff edge there. Just not quite in range of anything sensitive. T2 Mex is safe, although that one wouldn't be. You can park 1 or 2 of them up there. Indeed, just sit them where they are because they could reach. But look out! In come those gunships. Eco Noob doesn't like the look of that naval yard of Farms. Starts off targeting the naval yard initially and then switches up to all of the build capacity. That's a lot of dead NGs in there. It's going to dramatically slow up Farms' production, and in comes a tactical missile. So the gunships get wasted by defending interceptors there. And some flak. But attack missiles take care of the rest. Farms' best laid plans lie in tatters. Eco Noob on the way to T3. Ravagers should help him get a significant advantage over Blue Owl. That could be a difficult position to defend for him, although he is funneling loyalists down there, so T3 assault bot presence massing there for Team 1. Let's take a quick look at Eco. Overall Eco, Team 1 in the lead, 276 versus 256. A lot of that will be down to Obi-Wan Kenobi's early departure, no doubt. But actually they're ahead quite comfortably in a few places. Stick with income. Farms on 129, 110 for Blue Owl, 100 for Pappy Noob. Raider Noob gets a 117. And that was reclaim related, so 3 above 100 there for Team 1. And just Eco Noob on 120 above 100 there for Team 2. So Team 2 got some eco whoring to do. Mobile missiles starting to get the better of that forward position of Pappy Noobs there. TMD's down. None of the other structures are safe now. Although we are getting loyalists in here. Start deflecting those. They do deflect mobile missiles as well. It's not just TAC missiles, is it? No, there they go. So some of those are returned to sender. Nice work by Bulletproof Bob, countering any way he can. Demolisher on the ridge, going straight after Blue Owl's forward position. It's got tier 2 shields, Cybran shields there. Not gonna last much longer. There goes the first. There's like 4 demolishers up here, I think. And that's going up against a couple of static Gunthers there. I think the demolishers are going to win out. That T3 upgrade still isn't complete, 65% done there. Seraphim T2 artillery causing no end of problems there for Farmschlet. Shield is down and shield is out. Those clink hammers that were on the way, 2 of them won't get finished. The other one now widely exposed. One more shot like that and Farms is out of artillery. There it goes. Farms backing up towards the main base. This is great work from Eco Noob. Good strong base-to-base war all round from Team 2 at this point. 75% done on the upgrade. He does not want to be yielding here. Lots and lots of eco has been plowed into that and he's had to cancel it. Very nice work indeed there from Blue Owl. A lot of wasted resources for Raider Noob. Needs to get overcharging those T3 bots. It's such a shame really because there's not a huge amount coming that way. There is the threat coming around his position though, of course, from Icy Nightmare. It is all predominantly T2, mostly pillars. Could make a pretty bad mess of his face were he to get caught napping, but still it's 80% of the way done to T3. That really hurts. Attack missiles still flying, artillery actually I should say, flying. I'm sure the attack missiles are too, wherever they came from. Seeing them directly up there. Perhaps Eco Noob recycled them in favor of a hasty artillery installation, construction of. Bully Dozer now with personal shield and the T3 suite and the Zephamp. Got a pretty chunky comm right there. Still putting those flapjacks to great use. Bulletproof Bob just dropping back slightly, looking for another defensible position with slightly more conservative approach on territory. Team 1 still ahead on generated eco by about 50 to 45 mass there around, something like that. And way up on total mass accrued. One mercy there for Pappy Noob. Is he contemplating a snipe somewhere? Bulletproof Bob Or Bulletproof Bob. Not sorry, I knew I was going to get confused between those two. Bulletproof Bob there. Engaging Bulldozer's comm. EMP affecting the commander and everything else around it as those loyalists go pop. But no ground gained. Pappy Noob needs to send Bulletproof Bob a little bit more support, I think. There's a lot of hardware amassing for Team 2. Bulldozer looking scary with that comm. Lots of mobile shield gens. There are a lot of Cerberus turrets in there, but Flapjacks will be depleting those very quickly indeed. Icy Nightmare. Nano Repair, Zeph Amp and Personal Shield. That's a very chunky looking commander. At least on repairability, not so much on HP. Just 16,800 hit points on that comm. But still, could they finally be about to break this position that has caused them so many issues? So Raider Noobs drop right back to the plateau, starting that T3 upgrade again from fresh. Vulthus lying in wait, potentially going to make a play on Icy Nightmare's commander. He's close to the water there though. Not going to get a great deal done with an engage there, and these gunships now taking flak from some of the mobile flak that's in this group of units. In comes Pappy Noob with his ASFs. Eco Noob a little slow to respond, has lost almost all of his gunships in that exchange. Hush Noob and Eco Noob engaging Pappy's ASFs, so they're going to take a lot of casualties as they bug out, but Eco Noob's forward position is well and truly done. There go the Seraphim artillery emplacements. Farmschlet and Icy Nightmare bringing the pain on that position now. Just as they're making progress over in the west, Bulletproof Bob is floundering in the east next to Bulldozer and Wounded Elk. He's going to drop back to the plateau as well. This game continues to evolve. That naval yard for Farmschlet rebuilt in the center, determined to employ some naval tactics in the middle of the map. Gotta love that play, I certainly do. 22 minutes gone, and it looked for a moment like there had been a dramatic reversal in eco terms, but alas for Team 2, doesn't look like it. If anything, the gap has got bigger. 772 versus 728 now. Major players are, of course, Farmschlet over 200. In fact, is that right? Eco Noob on 243. That's not reclaim related. That's pretty scary. Remember, he's the one sitting on 2 base. Pappy Noob is the guy on 2 base for Team 1. He's on 189, but 243. That's a lot of eco going into their 2000 rated player. He's getting a TAC missile launcher on the comm. It's going to help him combat everything that's going on in the middle from Farmschlet. These two causing each other no end of pain here. Of course, remember, the commander-based missiles more effective than the ones that are launched from silos. They take more damage from various TNDs, and they fly higher as well, making them harder to hit. That's assuming, of course, they're not operating off old information there. There hasn't been some balance change, as there has been seemingly everywhere else. But Wounded Elk getting the shield on his comm. Hush Noob and Bulldozer all collectively massing over here. Need to be a little bit careful. That's a pretty ferocious looking loyalist army there. for Bulletproof Bob. T2 mechs being taken down by mobile missiles and T3 mobile artillery. It's a strange one, this. Both teams gaining ground and then yielding in equal measure. Although the center of the map starting to fall towards Team 1. Farmschlet getting nicely established now. We've got an Ethota on the way from EcoNoob, who's now on 266, getting a scary eco together. Farms is on 250, Pappy Noob on 216, so multiple players above that 200 threshold there. Just hang on 2 seconds while my game catches up. There it goes. My decrepit geriatric stack floundering under really rather meager demands being put on it. Current game conditions. Icy Nightmare forcing those Percivals back for Raider Noob, taking a lot of them out. Combined power of his comm and his own Percy's grabbing territory. Eco Noob just lobbing those commander-based tacticals on towards Farmschlet's units, and there goes the Ethota for Eco Noob. We have a GC on the way for Pappy. 25 minutes in, and the experimentals start to emerge. The question is, where is EcoNoob going to send that chicken? Is he going to try and break the middle once again? That's a little scary if he scouted it. That T3 naval headquarters. It's like a Neptune on the way for Farmschlet. Not going to go straight for Governor Spam. It's not been an enormous amount of threat from the air in this game, so he wants to get a proper battle cruiser down here to try and break the position around the causeway, potentially isolate some of the commanders. Wounded Elk and Bully Dozer up here. Wounded Elk advancing with shielded Percivals against Pappy Noob's position. Bully Dozer set up on the plateau down here, throwing down some plasma cannons, but also has a Ravager online.
Strategic launch detected.
Hello, nuke out from Blue Owl. Where is it going? It's coming down here for Raiden, who very sensibly is on the move straight down after a strategic missile defense online, but probably well scouted by Team 1. They're taking that out before it had a chance to get a missile in it. Will he have cleared the blast zone? Just! EMP temporarily disables the comm, but causes no direct damage to it. Raider Noob, having lost his base, keeps his commander for the time being, and has also thrust his Percivals forward to assist Eco Noob in his onslaught against the center. But bulwark vessels causing problems for that chicken as it's trying to engage some of these units. A lot of shield coverage here. It's gone very nicely indeed for Farmschlet, who has a couple of support commanders in the mix as well. So Farmschlet getting well and truly tooled up in the middle. Is now going to add a battle cruiser to the mix as well. It's really going to add to his firepower in the region. Team 1 looking pretty strong in the middle, as they do potentially now in the east, as Bulletproof Bob feels like he's got critical mass of loyalists together. They're going to try and retake the plateau. Wounded Elk withdraws from his engagement with Papinoob's forward base to help defend against this rush. Ravager is down. And now he turns his attention to those T1 PDs. They don't last long. Down they go. Is he going to stick around? No, just didn't want him to get set up. Quick engage there, quick harassment. Little skirmisher engagement, and they will then fall back. Lots of strap bombers amassing at the back here for Eco Noob, who's just going on a mass Ethota building spree, it would seem. Has two of them online. Has kept possession of that first one. Wisely withdrew it after it became apparent he wasn't going to get much done on that push in the center. Needed more firepower. Has added another one to it. Farmschlet, he's got his comm to safety under the waves. Another Ravager online, a little bit further back. Wounded Elk has Percy's up on the ridge. One brick online there for Bulletproof Bob. Pappy Noob completes an experimental. It's that GC we saw him working on earlier. That took him a long time to complete that compared to Eco Noob. Seemed to get two of his out in the same time. Add another one to that. Seemed to get three out in that time. One nuke out from Blue Owl. You see, I think Team 2 should be thinking nuke as well. It would be a very tidy and efficient way to deal with everything in here. One nuke placed right on the edge there. Take out all of this. And I'll leave it to the pros. Eco Noob going straight after Blue Owl's forward position. That base is not going to fare well against a couple of Ethotas. Point defenses being swept away like they're nothing. And they're not going to complete the conquest though. Farmschlet, Blue Owl and Icy Nightmare. A three-way advance with lots of Percys in there, loyalists and Rambo preset support commanders as well. That could give Farmschlet a real edge in this game. Fat Boy online up front there for Bullydozer. Would do better though to redirect his fire onto the units. Those naval vessels in the middle. That's a lot of shield boats covering those destroyers, or those battle cruisers, sorry. Now we're starting to see some governors. Those long-range missile capabilities, the excellent anti-air capabilities. I do not like where this is heading for Team 2 right now. Team 1, they're up by potentially 200k on Eco. Massive strap bomb assault on those support commanders, coupled with a lot of incoming fire from these Ethotas. Farmschlet surely has to back up out of this. Shield gen that was hurriedly thrown together by those support commanders just brushed aside. Very nice bombing work there from Eco Noob with those strats as well. Gets them in, drops the bomb off, and gets them out of dodge before any reprisals are possible. The Pappy Noob advancing down here along with Farmschlet towards the causeway. That forces Wounded Elk and Bulldozer to withdraw all of those units that they had, allowing Bulletproof Bob to expand with a massive trebuchet contingent. All of those emplacements under pressure now. This is great teamwork, great awareness from Team 1, responding to the threats on the battlefield in every way they should. I really fear dramatically for Team 2's safety right now. Fat Boy for Bulldozer in a comfortable position to engage that GC. Pappy Noob's going to withdraw that out of range. Very sensible. Bulldozer reacquires a new target. It's the battle cruiser under shield coverage in the middle. Sniper bots being employed under shield coverage over here. Not consistently hitting their targets thanks to the terrain, but sneaking enough shots in here and there to make them worthwhile. But still, amazingly, that's good ground that's been gained, and a megalith turns up from Blue Owl. That's going to give them excellent ranged capabilities. We can park it in the gap here. It might be able to brush aside this installation and these sniper bots. Farms completes an experimental. It's a Fat Boy in the center. That quantum gateway with all of those NGs. Up on 274 now, behind Pappy Noob on 280. Remember, he's on 2 base though, but Eco Noob surging ahead momentarily. That was reclaim related, I think, unless he's power locked himself. He was up over 320 there for a moment. But actually comparable mass amounts between those guys. Hush Noob on 250. 258. Bulldozer on similar, but here we go. Eco Noob completes an experimental bomber. The arse washer brought in to bear on Bulletproof Bob's base, which gets battered with all of the bees that I can think of. Eco Noob hangs a right turn. In comes Pappy with his ASFs, gets a good engage, knocks about 50% of the health off that thing, but he's going to lose the rest of his fighters in the exchange to the escort wasps. Strap bombers brought in as well up the eastern edge of the map. Could be going for a snipe here somewhere, but a nice bombing run over the top there from Hush Noob's ambassadors. Connects with Pappy Noob's comm. Shields do just enough to keep the comm alive. Restorers for Pappy Noob brought in to assist with coverage. What went on there? There goes Bulletproof Bob. A nice snipe from Eco Noob, who then redirects on towards Pappy Noob. Surely Pappy Noob's going home now. Oh my word, 800 hit points. Thereabouts. It's a lovely left turn. Then going on after Blue Owl's base in the center, and then directed once again out west. There goes Pappy Noob, defeated by the strats from Hush Noob. What a wonderful air assault from Team 2. Directed, coordinated, taking down everything in the east for Team 1. Blue Owl launches his nuke. Doesn't get taken out. Misses the bombers. There he goes. He control cases comm. He knows he's going home. What a spectacular collapse. Thanks to massive air pressure from Team 2. That nuke, will it snag a kill on Hush Noob? Where's it going? If they could take something from this, they would love a comm kill. All of these comms down here, 2 of them, 3 of them static. Oh no, why didn't you move? Harsh Noob practically takes him out with the kinetic force of the missile, let alone the detonation. So, Silver Lining, they do bag a kill there. Experimental Bomber still alive and fighting. Wow, what a couple of minutes of play. Comms going pop all over the place. And it's now 2v4. Although it could potentially be 2v3. Raider Noob under Percival pressure in the bottom left-hand corner. And there's a lot of them. He needs assistance, and he needs it quickly. Farmschlet, meanwhile, advancing in the center with his Fat Boy, creating an exclusion zone with his governors and his battle cruisers. Bulletproof Bob laying down a lot of fire, though, from two different positions with those Fat Boys. Raider Noob under trouble as the Percivals catch up to him. In comes Eco Noob to save the day. There's going to be a lot of collateral damage, but he won't worry about that. At least the com's alive. Only two Percivals left. He can handle those. Farmschlet still looking dangerous, expanding out with all of those support commanders. Lot of mass to be gained here. Bulldozer and Wounded Elk will want to try and deny him. That's going to be very hard to do. Lots of Percys, lots of support commanders. Rambo preset. Very deadly indeed. Now, can Eco Noob cause problems with this trio of Ethotas? Get in there and kill that T3 naval yard. That would be ideal for Team 2. 180 kills on board that arse washer now. A bomb into the main base of Icy Nightmare will go down pretty well with his compatriots, I'm sure. Don't know how much anti-air firepower we're looking at. Lots of missiles rolling in towards the main base of Wounded Elk. Not sure if those governors can reach the main base. Assist pings going down on that naval yard. It looks to me like Eco Noob's more concerned with getting into the main base than he is with taking out Farmschlet's central position here. Still no nuke launcher that I can see, but they're doing pretty well. Experimental bomb takes out all of the build capacity around that T3 naval HQ. That's gonna significantly diminish Farmschlet's naval production capabilities in the area. Eco Noob has just parked his Ethotas there. That's unwise. He should have kept them going in my mind. Into the main base up here. Look at all of the power he could have taken out. There's nothing down here. He's more concerned with combating the incoming support commanders. I do think that was a mistake. I think it's probably not what he intended to do. Yeah. Not happy with something that's gone on with his comm. Answers in the comment section below if that refers to a specific known bug or exploit he's referring to. Lots of shields on board those support commanders, making them very tough indeed. Think of the damage he could have done if he could have marched those three Ethotas, or certainly two of them, into the main base. Farmschlet laying fire down on that base of Eco Noobs, though. What was that, support commander? Don't panic, we didn't miss another one. You never know in this game. That's how much has been going on, and I like what I've seen here. Wounded Elk, lots of build capacity up here, cannibalizing the base, laying down tons of T1 factories, and is now just going to spam Lobos at the back. of Farmschlett's base. Going to give him another front to think about. Awasar now taking flare fire as support commanders and T3 engineers go about establishing some decent anti-air defenses, something that they've been lacking. 243 kills now on that bomber, and he can't seem to get the bomber weight. He wants to unleash it and then back up to try and minimize the amount of SAM fire he's exposed to. Drops down to 6,500, but he can't seem to manage it, and he won't risk that again, surely. Pulling that bomber back, very wise decision indeed, if I might say so, sir. Another experimental bomber on the way. Still no nuke. This would be a perfect time to sneak a nuke right in here somewhere and confine Farmschlett to his base. All of this territory is then opened up to exploitation. Just my 2 cents. I know nothing compared to you guys. It's always difficult when you're a 1100 rated player telling 2000 rated players what they should be doing. It's actually quite preposterous when you think about it, but it's certainly what I would be after at this point. Bit of assistance from his teammates. They could spam a nuke up, and that would be the end of everything in here. T1 bombers up here for Bully Dozer Noob. And look how things have changed after that massive, massive air assault, combined air assault on the three rearguard air players, pretty much, well, just 3 rear players. Actually 4 if you count Bulletproof Bob. They took out 4 players pretty much in one go. F. Odin went early on, that's right, so it is 3 players they've dropped. They are now producing less than half of what Team 2 are in generated eco, and that's fundamentally unsustainable. They need to make something happen in the next 5 or 10 minutes and do something dramatic, snipe someone out. Otherwise, this game is well and truly locked up for Team 2, I would say. Thank goodness they took care of Hushnoob with that nuke. Massive mistake of his not to move upon hearing that. Always move your comm when you hear a nuke. Perhaps he was on the phone surfing 4chan, who knows. Lots of fat boys online for Bully Dozer. Those were all previously, or most of them, parked up around here, remember? And he's done well to get those back. That one there, only with 25 kills, but subsequently lost a lot of its health. Now, can they use them, combined with the Alwasar, to dislodge Farmschlett? And again, doesn't manage to get the bomb away. Eco Noob absolutely screwing in local chat. Come on! Can't get the bomb off. Trying to be clever with the micro. That's going to happen to you, I'm afraid, but does manage to take out a badly damaged battle cruiser. And manages to keep it alive as well. That's now a fully 5-starred experimental bomber. Still the tide of T1 and a few T3 Percys in there as well continues from Wounded Elk in through that back passage. Farmschlett doing his best to lock that up. Another bomb from the Awasar takes out most of those bulwark shield boats, one of them remaining. Farmschlett having power troubles as he's no doubt utilizing a lot of his mass right now, trying to spam up point defense right at the back. dramatic increase in firepower with the emergence of those Percivals in around the back. Just watch them swat aside those units. So very deadly. Ooh, and an Atlantis is completed there for Icy Nightmare. Wants to give himself some air production capabilities, something that he can no doubt hide. Another failed bomb drop. Things not going well for Eco Noob with those experimental bombers. And yet he's built 2 of them now. 305 kills on board that bad boy. Does look like they're getting some work done, although he's run out of Percivals up at the back there, Wounded Elk. Just looked like he was managing to break through. Support commanders managed to hold off the attack, though. Wounded Elk could upgrade more of these to T3 and get some more Percys in the mix. Could be major issues for Farmschlett, who, to his credit, is still advancing. Support commanders crossing the river now, and they've got summits to back them up. Those 2 Abussars coming in for an attack. Will he get both bombs off? Yes, he will. That's going to hurt. But look how well they tanked those. They could have eaten 4 of them. So very, very hardy with those upgrades on board. Would you look at that? Would you look at that? Novax online for Wounded Elk, and another one as well. We're going mass Novax. Completely devoid of any courage whatsoever. Well, it's a tool there, and it's there to be used. They really should change that. I don't know what they could do to make them better. Quite nice to have some kind of jamming. Turn them into a jamming thing that counters even Omni. You could send them there and it just creates fog with no intel inside it. That would be pretty awesome. Take the weapon away. I know they're not known for those sorts of capabilities. It sounds more cyber-y. I'm just trying to think of something that would make them relevant, but not completely awful in the way they operate. Icy Nightmare completes another experimental. You look at this expansion from Farmschlett. He's just not going away. Outrageous amounts of Ravagers being constructed in the center with their maximum firing potential, so he'd have somewhere to retreat if things get nasty. Only 1 bomb away from the Awassars. Can't seem to get those bombs off. Good lateral movement and micro from Team 1. This caused no end of issues for Eco. That's 3 Novax satellites online for Wounded Elk and 1 online for Raider Noob. Dreadful, dreadful play. Would have much preferred to see some T3 artillery or something. I don't know why it makes a difference, but it just does. It's essentially exactly the same as T3 artillery in a way. Major jostling for position as these two teams, but specifically Farmschlet and I guess Bully Dozer, try to maximize the potential of the Fat Boys. Which you look at all of the parashields he's being covered by, trying to keep those fatties alive. Can't believe what I'm seeing here. Farmschlet's actually advancing on towards Team 2's base, and there it is. Finally we have an operational nuke launcher. It's a ways away from getting a nuke launcher online. Just a support commander going pop in the middle, and we do have a T3 artillery emplacement online as well. But magnificent defense being put up by Farmschlet here. Got to focus on shielding his main base, combat the relentless, unending stream of crap that's coming in the back door, and still he's advancing across the river and causing problems up front with his support commanders, Summits, Governors and Percys. In fact, the massive quantities of Fat Boys are being pushed back, and he's still managing to cover against Eco Horror's experimental bombers. Admittedly, they're having major trouble getting any bombs off. But I really do think that's target selection. Go for ground fire, sir. Definitely your best bet. That's a better bombing run from Eco Noob. Lots of Percivals die in that. That's a very nice bombing run indeed. Farmschlet loses the odd support commander as well. Looked like 2 or 3 went pop in there. Surely he'll have to withdraw. There's no point in keeping that up. And shield coverage is dropping all over. Novak's just overpowering them bit by bit. Lobos making more ground up each time. Halfway done on that nuke. Team 1 hasn't managed to increase their mass yield at all. Team 2 hasn't increased either, it's got to be said. There goes an experimental bomber, finally succumbing to all of that flare and governor fire. Another experimental bomber under construction though in the middle. Farmschlet with his comm way out here. Still, of course, that T3 static raining down on the base of Icy Nightmare there. Summits lie exposed. That's a huge quantity of Fat Boy fire raining down on them. Oh, that's beautiful. Percival fire coming from the opposite coast as well. Last Summit in that pack dies off. There's another one further back, but that's not going to last long. Look at all of the Percivals on the shoreline there. Shield coverage keeping it alive, but it's just delaying the inevitable. Oh, nice catch over here, though, from Icy Nightmare. Picks off another arse washer and then goes after some of Bully Dozer's ambassadors. Eco Noob trying his best to take them out with his own ASFs, but they've had such an advantage for so long, they weren't expecting any significant number of ASFs to turn up. That's thanks to the Atlantis over there. It's given a lot of aircraft build power to Team 1. And now the mass values have jumped. 581 for Team 1, but 1.1k for Team 2. That's a cool 400 or 350,000 difference in terms of total mass accrued. That is huge. And now the fat boys can start to advance for Bully Dozer. Farm Schlett's firepower greatly diminished with all of those summits' demise. The shield boats have gone, and there's the nuke. We were waiting for it. Where's it going? I would have put it in the middle, but it's not. He's going straight for the comm kill. If Farm Schlett doesn't move his comm, that will be the end of him. He might not feel like moving it after the way this game has gone. Wonderful of these guys to stick it out, though, and make such a defense of it. It's been a marvelous game to watch. Farms is moving his comm. It's been locked onto by one of the Novak satellites. Has he cleared the blast zone? What? It hit the satellite. It hit the satellite or the beam. Obi-Wan Kenobi, who's been watching since his demise, can't believe it. Icy Nightmare control case is calm. He doesn't want to face it anymore. That's absolutely ridiculous. That's why you gotta love this game. How incredibly frustrating for Eco Noob. His weaponry just hasn't been functioning the way it's supposed to. But there goes all the shield coverage. And there goes everything else that the Novak satellites could lock onto, except for Farms' comm. And there's 4 of them in there. Is Farms going to lie in wait for the incoming strats? It looks very much like it. Bully Dozer coming in for the kill now with huge quantities of ambassadors. Gabu. There he goes. 51 minutes, and that's the end of Team 1, who looked like they had it were it not for that wonderful, wonderful combined air effort that was wide open, because no one up until that point really was doing anything in the air game. There were no ASFs really in any great number on either side. So when they decide to go on a massive strat bomber and experimental bomber run, they were wide open. Very entertaining game. Hope you enjoyed it, guys. Hope you agree that that was epic worthy. Again, not a particularly long one, but that's not what we're about for epicosity. It just has to be epic, and that was huge quantities of stuff. Hope you enjoyed it. As always, more to come from me in the future, guys. Do not forget that if you feel so inclined, you can support me on Patreon. Thank you to the new donations I've had this week, and for the ones that have stuck with me in perpetuity. Your support is always appreciated and greatly valued. More to come from me in the future, as we say. But until next time, guys, stay well and stay safe. This is Guile, signing out.